What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool player announcement video, because Doak on his official Instagram account appeared to confirm he's signing for Liverpool FC. He's a very talented young attacker, mainly a winger, playing for Celtic Football Club, and this is one of the big signings for Liverpool's future, because Doak, for the next 5 years, of course, he will develop and hopefully he will become a world-class player at Liverpool. So if you are excited about this transfer, leave a like, and in this video you will get to know him and all the details about his transfer. And he said on his Instagram account, posting a picture of him signing his Liverpool contract at Liverpool FC, looking forward to a new chapter. And the compensation fee is only £0.6 million, so that is a fraction of what Liverpool usually pay for talented young players. For example, Fabio Carvalho will cost Liverpool around £8 million, and of course he's much further in his development. And according to The Athletic, this is the compensation fee, £600,000, and Celtic were hopeful of retaining the services of Doak, who hadn't signed yet a professional contract. But Doak had decided to move to Liverpool and join up with Jurgen Klopp's exciting squad, because he saw a straight path from being a young player at Liverpool to the first team. Look at Trent Alexander-Arnold, look at Curtis Jones, look at Harvey Elliott, and all these other young players who are playing a lot of games for Liverpool. And if you are good enough, you are old enough. Doak recently scored a hat-trick for Scotland's under-17 international team, and he also impressed against Northern Ireland recently. And Jurgen Klopp has provided youngsters with countless opportunities during his time at Liverpool, with Trent Alexander-Arnold, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, you know, taking that opportunity and showing Jurgen Klopp that they are good enough, and they are now a regular place in the first team and regular contracts. And of course the big debate is, what is better for young players' development? Playing at Celtic somewhat regularly as a 16-year-old winger, getting experience that way, or going to Liverpool, slotting into their under-18 side, of course, not playing at that high of a level. But Liverpool have world-class training facilities, they have world-class coaches, even at youth level. And also, you will get your chance under Jurgen Klopp if you are good enough, and if you show in training and in the youth teams that you are good enough. You can look at Card Gordon, Connor Bradley, Tyler Morton. They all got opportunities as very young players, and Tyler Morton, for example, played a couple of games in the Champions League. So Doak, maybe even next season or the season after next season, could play some games for Liverpool. And if he is good enough, and if he shows the hunger, the desire, the quality and everything, the intensity that is required to play for Liverpool, then he will become a first team member of Liverpool Football Club. And what Doak is about is intensity. If you watch his games, if you watch the highlights of his games, you can see that this kid has no fear. He's running at people, he's running at defenders, even in a Celtic Rangers big old firm derby. He was running at Rangers defenders like he had no fear. And that's the beauty of young players, that they don't know failure, they don't know fear, so they will go out and just express themselves. At least the people who have confidence, and Doak has confidence in abundance. And Doak snubbed better offers and better terms, so he's not just going to Liverpool for the money. I'm sure that he will earn a little bit more at Liverpool than he would earn at Celtic, but for example, Leeds United offered a bigger contract, better terms than Liverpool. But Liverpool, of course, is a huge club. And if you get a chance to sign for Liverpool, then you take it, because that opportunity might not come anytime soon in the future. And I think Liverpool's strategy is quite brilliant, quite genius, getting young players like Harvey Elliott from Fulham when he was just 16 years old, similar transfer to this Doak one. Fabio Carvalho is also just 18 years old. We are signing him from Fulham as well. We signed Raheem Sterling as like a 16-year-old kid from Queen's Park Rangers, and we sold him for 50 million to Man City. And we have a lot of other examples as well of Liverpool now getting more and more big players, young players, and developing them. And that's the Liverpool way of doing things. We don't really do transfers like signing Mbappe or Erling Haaland, the current superstars of football. The one superstar that we signed, I think, was Thiago, but he's a midfielder, not an attacker. But other than that, I can't remember a player who was already a big name player that Liverpool signed. And we develop our own big players, we develop our own world-class players. And the Celtic manager, Postecoglou, spoke highly of Ben Doak when he made his debut for Celtic. He said he's a fantastic kid who comes from a good family. He looked really composed for his age. He has grown up a bit today. It will give him a different perspective on life. He probably would have been on the other side of the terracing if he hadn't been playing. And that's the beauty of it. Ben Doak is a Celtic fan, he's a boyhood Celtic fan, so it must have been a very tough, very hard decision for him to leave Celtic, but Liverpool just hits different. Liverpool is a huge club, one of the biggest clubs in the world. And Ben Doak probably has some friends or family even who supports Liverpool. Maybe he supported Liverpool or watched Liverpool growing up as a kid. He's still a kid, you know what I mean. But Ben Doak must have a soft spot for Liverpool, and the opportunity to break into the first team at Liverpool was just too big of an opportunity to turn down for Ben Doak. But let me know, if you were in his shoes and you were a Celtic fan, a boyhood Celtic fan, would you leave for Liverpool at the age of 16, or would you try to break into the Celtic first team and show that you are good enough? But the big problem with that is who knows whether a big club like Liverpool would come calling again in the future. So that's a big question mark there, and he just didn't want to pass up the opportunity, and I fully understand. I would have made the same decision, of course, as he made, but I just want to hear from you guys as well. And tomorrow it's the big Merseyside derby, Liverpool against Everton, and I really hope that Everton don't injure a bunch of our players, because they will play with aggression and intensity, and hopefully the referee will be able to calm things down. And I think that Liverpool will win, probably 2-0, that's my prediction. But I'm worried that Everton will just try to ruin our season by injuring some of our best players, but let's hope that's not the case. And Mark Robertson, a former Liverpool player who is now a BBC Sport pundit, he said, my prediction is 2-0, it's a derby, so this will be absolutely manic. The game will start at 100 miles an hour, tackles will be flying in, they always are, but whatever the scenario and however hard they work, any away team at Anfield needs some quality to get anything from the game. Everton have shown some signs of improvement in the past 2 games, but defensively I still don't think they have what it takes to keep Liverpool out. There are 47 points separating the 2 teams in the table, which illustrates the current golfing class. Do you want Everton to be relegated as a Liverpool fan? Let me know in the comments below. To be honest, I would love to see that, because that would just shut up Everton fans for a good few years, in my opinion. Of course, I would miss the Merseyside derby. We always seem to do well against Everton, except when we have no fans in the stadium and we don't have any fit centre-backs. Like last season happened, and Everton ended their long wait for a win at Anfield. When there are crowds in the stadium, Everton usually lose, and I really hope that Liverpool give Everton an absolute hiding. But I have a feeling that Jurgen Klopp will rotate the team, because we have the Villarreal Champions League semi-final first leg just 3 days after this game on Wednesday, so we play Sunday quite late. At least we had a good break until then, a 5-day rest, and that will be the biggest rest between now and the last game of the season, probably between the last Premier League game and the FA Cup final. That will be a longer rest, but other than that, until the last game of the Premier League season, we won't have a 5-day rest like we had between the Manchester United and Everton games. So it's very important, of course, for Liverpool to win. And Man City will probably be 4 points clear at the top of the table, because they play Watford today, and I expect Man City to win by a big scoreline. Watford are pretty much already relegated, barring an absolute miracle. So Liverpool need to take care of the business, and I think Liverpool will rotate a little bit, not too much, not too crazy, but Jurgen Klopp will have one eye on the VRL semi-final. But we need to perform at our best, because Everton, every point counts for them. After Burnley beat Southampton during the week, Everton are just 1 point clear of the relegation zone, and they have a brutally tough fixture list. They have like 2 or 3 games that are winnable. All the rest are against really big teams who have a lot to play for. So it's going to be very interesting whether Everton can stay up or not. But even if they stay up, this season has been an utter, complete, abject failure by Everton. They had £500 million net spend in the past 10 years, and what do they have to show for it? A big fat zero. Not even a cup final, not even a qualification for Europe. They just didn't do anything with this huge amount of investment, and that is partly the failure of the board and the transfer committee, but also it's down to the failure of the players. Everton had more than a good enough squad to challenge for European places, and instead what they do, they almost get relegated, or who knows, maybe even get relegated as well. That's an absolutely astonishing failure even by Everton standards. And Andy Robertson talked about how it is different in Liverpool when it comes to derby game compared to Glasgow, where he's from, of course. And he said when you bump into people on the street at Liverpool, they always mention trying to beat Everton. And if you bump into Everton fans, to be fair, they are polite, but they always say that they hope they get the 3 points, which is fair enough. You always know when big games are on the horizon. The derby is no different. And in the week leading up to it, a lot of people are discussing it at work. Since moving up to Liverpool, I've realized, Andy Robertson said, that a lot of families are split. So the whole family doesn't support just Liverpool or just Everton. There are some people who support Liverpool and some who support Everton in the family as well, but that's not the way in Glasgow. You are either a Celtic fan or a Rangers fan. There are no splits in a family, but down here there are quite a few split families, and it can cause family tension, but it's all good banter and it's all good stuff. You just hope that anytime you play a derby, you just want the red side to be happy. So I think that's a fantastic insight from Andy Robertson into, you know, how different it is in Liverpool compared to Glasgow. And Jurgen Klopp thinks that it's better if Everton stay in the Premier League, because the Merseyside derby should always be on the fixture list. Jurgen Klopp said, you know better than I do, these games have nothing to do with the table really. Form and the league table goes out of the window. It's always intense. For me it was at times too intense. Great game, honestly, and I hope that Everton stay in the league. So one part of me, my head says, probably my head says that it's better if Everton stay in the league, because that's one big fixture to look forward to even more. It's better than playing against Fulham or Bournemouth or any other championship side next season. Liverpool, Everton, Liverpool, always I'm looking forward to these games. But my heart says, wow, that would be special if Everton got relegated after God knows like 40, 50 years. That would be just an absolute utter embarrassment. And as I said, it would shut up Everton fans for good for a long time. And Everton have a long injury list as well. They have Donny van de Beek, Andre Gomes, Dominic Calvert-Lewin out injured. They have Tom Davies and Andres Townsend out injured, and Yerry Mina is a doubt for the game as well. And yes, Everton missed Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's a great Premier League striker, and he hasn't been able to stay fit all season. But you can't be in a relegation battle even without Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Everton have too many good players to be in a relegation battle. They have Brazil international Richarlison, who of course injured Thiago, and I absolutely hate him for that. And he said everybody hates Liverpool in one interview, so I absolutely despise Richarlison, but he has been a shadow of himself this season. And of course, now that I said that, he will probably score against Liverpool, so I'm sorry about that, but the whole Everton squad needs to take some responsibility for this season, because they have been an absolute shambles, an utter failure this season. With the squad that they have, they should be nowhere near a relegation battle. They should be in 8th place, pushing for the top 6 place. That's my honest opinion. And Luis Diaz revealed the brilliant advice and insight that Jurgen Klopp gave to him. And Jurgen Klopp helped Luis Diaz hit the ground running after signing for Liverpool. And I think it's pretty unprecedented from a different league, a completely different nationality, completely different style of play to the Premier League. He comes into Liverpool, and from day one, from the first game, Luis Diaz has been performing like he has been at Liverpool for 5 years, and that is pretty shocking and astonishing. And at the start, Luis Diaz said, I think it was more about Jurgen Klopp telling me what I've been doing up to now. He was trying to put across to me that all it was about was for me to keep doing what I've been used to. He wanted me to know that I had been performing very well up to now, and that I should just try to keep on doing more of the same. To play my football with joy and happiness, while obviously incorporating the preferred tactical plans and instructions into my game. And I have to say that it worked like a charm, because Luis Diaz, the style of play that he had, and testament to the scouting team, was absolutely perfect and perfectly aligned with the Liverpool tactics, the Liverpool style of play, the intensity, the high pressing, the speed, the dribbling, the shooting, taking on people. Luis Diaz has been a joy to watch, and long may it continue. Hopefully he will have a brilliant career at Liverpool in the next 5, 6, 7 years, who knows how many. And that's it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Come on Liverpool, let's beat Everton in the Merseyside derby tomorrow. Really looking forward to it. Thanks for watching. See you later guys. Good night.